Ooh. Yo, how's it going, Ashley? How's it going, Abby? How's it going, Star Trek? How are you doing? At, it's so hot. I'm hanging. Yo, Wilson, how's it going, man? Weish. Isn't your DJ thing tonight? Yes. I have to dig through records. I got to dig through some records for tonight, but I don't think that the bar is set up for records to be played like a proper DJ thing. So I think there's going to be an aux cord. So I'm just like totally just going to fucking wing it. And I'm going to be with my friends, so I'm like I feel like it's like really low pressure, but I'm stoked at the idea that like them just being like, "Hey, yo, pull up." So I feel like that could just be more of like a common thing when I'm over here, which I'm stoked about. How's it going, EPZ? Yo, how's it going, Valley Girl? Dog just ate my remote while outside. Oof, sad. Yo, Muzza, how's it going? Still can't figure out why. Oh wait, are there others that say that? Oof. Well, that all came from one meme, so yeah, oof is a thing. Someone being like, oof. It's like, oof, it's hot, or like, yeah. I mean, that's like that's like a term of like disgust, I guess. But we were in New York one time, and then just kind of like how she says disclaimer. How's it going, Hans? As just like the way she like if I say disclaimer, she's like disclaim you. I said oof, and she just said oof to you. I said oof, and she said oof to you. And then she just turned that into like the universal fuck you, I guess. Yeah, so I think it's like the way she uses is kind of specific to mom. How's it going, Laura? You gotta hire bodyguard for your. I mean, I think my friend who's DJing today, he has a lot of stuff, and I think he understands the importance. So I feel like it'd be one of those like, I don't really have to say like look after my records while I go to the bathroom or something, but not no. I mean, or like I'm not joking. Like I think in LA. There's a spot that my friend is gonna take over, at least to just curate a record night. And I'm not gonna go by myself. I mean, I'm not worried about those people, like my friends and stuff. And the hotel is nice, but it's just these things are too expensive now. I don't know what to do, or I just can't play some stuff. Well, again, this is cool because I don't really mind if it was just one auxiliary cord where I'm like, okay, I could like kind of sit, I could like not bring some things, but like, yeah, they're just expensive these days. They're just fucking expensive these days. But I also have to pull. I gotta do work. I haven't been doing work. How are you? I know you're. Yes, I'm hot. I'm good. DJ things tonight. I gotta clean, do some laundry, or I mean, pick up some laundry. A lot. It's been hectic, but again, New York has been really really good. Today I thought, why does my Schlitz itch? I wash it in the morning and realized I had a wedgie. Shout out to Lily. Yeah, itchy slit. This is a season for the itchy slits. I say oof to you when I see a sexy lady. Oof. Oh yeah, totally. Like oof. Yeah. I mean, by this point, I say oof, saying hello to anyone, or I mean, some people who know. But yeah, you walk into anywhere. Ooh, no, oof. But like, oh, yeah, it's pretty funny. Good. Sorry. I was working all day. Yo, work is good. Um, wait, clean the poo poo. Yeah, that that one always blows my mind. Where I'm like, what the fuck? Like, cause it's like that one. Mom probably heard like growing up or something. Just like, oh my god, what the fuck, dude? Um, in Danish, oof is or polite. Oh yeah, that's it. Then we're using it properly. We're using oof in like Norwegian language. Like we're taking from Danish. That's a trip. I didn't know that. I mean, it's also again, it's funny because it's like mom has so much language in her that like I don't know where any of this stuff comes from, but what once something lands, I'm like, oh yeah, that's forever. You know, like oof. Do you like oh yeah. I mean, well also the dude I'm DJing with today, he's from the Bay, or he's from Bakersfield to the Bay, but there's a lot of people from San Diego or San Francisco who are going to be there tonight because a lot of people from San Francisco moved out here, and they all kind of kick it. But every single time, especially like they love karaoke. Every single time you test out the mic to see if it's on. It's always E40. There's definitely gonna be some E40 tonight. It's also funny. I think that the bartender was just like, "Yo, listen, this is last minute. Do whatever you want, whatever." And my friend is really, really like mindful, and like he has like a lot of intention behind everything he does. So he was just like, So what are we gonna do? What's the night gonna be? This and that. And I'm just like, dude, let's just play whatever, man. But so it's like I think it's gonna be from like E40 to like crass, but I mean, I just said fucking nuts to butts bangers, and that's what we've been just going back and forth. But it's funny too because it's like I'm in my mind. I really think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna like text my friend today. My friend is trying to do a night at the Line Hotel, and he wants it to be like nice cocktails and vinyl. And I'm like, I get that thing. I think he's trying to be like trying to make a night over there that's very like Japanese record bar. But I was supposed to DJ, but then all the ice stuff happened, and he was just like, this isn't a good time to like throw a party. And I was like, I totally agree. So we didn't yet, but he has like a bar. Like he wanted to step away from his scene. And I'm just trying to, I think I'm going to hit him up and be like, yo, let me get a Sunday afternoon and just make like yacht rock. Like I want to throw a day, not even a night, a day that's just light jogs, just like Michael McDonald is God and Christopher Cross. And like I really think it'd be rad for like, I don't know. It's like not like straight dentist music, but I mean like kind of, like Anita Baker and shit. Some like, just a light jog, and I really think it'd be rad where I'm like, I know that, especially like if you have a drink or two, every fucking song hits, but I like the idea of like the aunties and uncles and the grandparents being like, oh my God, that this bar's playing good music because it's just like older ass, Burt Bacharach, covers and shit. So it's funny because I'm like really, really, really in that mindset. And I don't think my friend is, but I'm like, it's going to be good. It's going to be fine. My friend had his records snatched he was able to recover them. How? That's, oh my God, a nightmare. It's also so scary just because it's like, like if your records are in like, it's just like in one crate or like one bag, it's like they're all gone, If someone's just really trying to be an ass, totally fucked. Oh my God, how did they get them back? Dude, I just released a playlist with all that. Dude, that's awesome. Yo, drop the fucking link, man. That's, I mean, my reference playlist is pretty heavy by this point. I mean, it's just like ambrosia. You know what I mean? Like just fucking, bangers. Like, and it's funny because it's like people who know it. Also, like I have some like Cuddy like late, like I remember. Oh my god, I remember I used to DJ at this country western night in LA with a bunch of like cool country kids who now are like pseudo famous, I guess. Or it's like they made it in LA. Yo, Flamin' Teddy. Wait, James Taylor the Pocket Bit. Oh yeah, that's it right there. Wait a second, which is a James Taylor one? That goes fucking dumb. But it was funny because I was playing some just like old. I was playing like Chet Atkins, but like '86 Chet Atkins, and they were like, "What are you, what the fuck is this?" Dude, Chet Atkins, dude, like a crystal in the light. Oh my god, it goes so hard. But it's funny because it's like you kind of can't not compare Chet Atkins to Chet Atkins. So it's like you're thinking about, you know, Nashville bangers, or like obviously you're thinking about like Mr. Sandman and shit. And then I remember playing a lot of like late 70s Leon Russell. And those dudes are my heroes. I mean, I love them. I mean, especially Leon. But it was funny because it was like these dudes were like, "Oh man, like you're playing it's like you're playing like the goats but like the wrong versions." And I was just like, "Bitch, like catch me in 5 years when you start to get it." Like just remember when I'm showing you these records and they're in the clearance bin, and then by the time you understand what they are, they're going to be fucking money, compared to, again, it's just like you get the ones first. You know what I mean? It's like I get it. It's just like, yeah, like you get all the tightrope and the fucking, or what the fuck is oh my god, like you get like the Freddie King record with Going Down. But it's also one of those things where like you get Freddie King before Eastbound and Down, and it's on Shelter People, and then Leon's on the drum, Leon's on the piano. But again, like it was like, dude, Leon and Mary Russell, the wedding record, the wedding album, so good. Just so fucking good. It's like fucking you mad at good music because it's not the music that you also think is like the best of the catalog. And again, I get it. Do titties have a slits? I don't know. That's a mom question, but that's a good one. I know there's gonna be a good answer in there. Anita Wiener, yes. Do you like industrial stuff? Yeah, fuck yeah. It's not like my like initial go-to shit. But I have a few like industrial buds that are like, oh my god, dude, James Taylor, the JT record, dude, your smiling face, get the fuck out of here. Oh, and you know what? That is totally gonna go on this playlist. Your smiling face. Also, wait, what year is this? 1977. So again, it's like it's not James Taylor on fucking Apple Records. Again, I get it, but I don't know. It's like, dude, you dig for the bangers. It's called The Museum of Music. Mom. James Fair Fine Rain for Days Always. It's called Museum of I can't. I know I'm spelling it wrong. Oh, there it is. Sick. Yeah, dude. Yeah, the Bee Gees. Oh my god, dude. The Cars. Flashing Lights. John. Yeah, all this is up my totally. Dude, Sail Away, of course. Christopher, of course. Also, I think like What a Fool Believes is like the actual like the end all be all. That's what it is. But also, yeah, like Boss Gags and shit. Yeah. Oh my god. Also, dude, the yeah, fucking Bob James. The Taxi theme is like my one of my favorite pieces of music maybe ever to exist ever. And it's like I love it for it being it, but I also like I'm so like the feeling of like, going to bed at night, or like Nick at Night is on, or like reruns, like the 70s, that thing is like the greatest, just it's like, just reminding you of your childhood. And I love it too because it's like it's not my childhood. I mean, it is my childhood, but like there was something real I really, really loved about. I was talking to Justin about this. I think that if I had the internet as a kid, I don't know how I would be. I mean, like Jimmy always is like, I mean, if I had the internet as a kid, I'd be like, I would just have tapped. I wouldn't do anything else. I'd be in the Matrix. I'd have like a chip in my head. But some of the kids today, which again, I don't mind that I'm not really saying it like that, but like, I don't know if people really care for like going through and figuring out some history shit, which I think is cool too. Just being like, I'm here right now. I'm looking forward. That's it. Fuck it. Sick. Like so sick. But there was something oddly satisfying about getting hip to like my dad's world or like an older person's. Like I loved the 70s in the 90s, being like, oh my God, everything of this time. And then getting into like the 60s and the 50s. And like, maybe it was also like magazines where like reissues were getting put out and like reviewed. And then I was getting hip to that stuff. But it's like, I remember like how big of a deal it was when I found like, like Woodstock, like finding out that existed, or like Altamont, and then being like, whoa, the Hells Angels, that's crazy too. And like the Stones, and like then like punk music and like CBGBs. And I was like, not shit from my world. It wasn't what was in front of me. It was like what was behind me. But I loved it so much. And I don't know. I mean, there's obviously there's a lot of people who fuck with it, now, like they think of like back then and whatnot. But I don't know if it was as much. Again, I don't care. He was bringing that up, being like, "Oh yeah, motherfuckers don't give a shit." But I'm like, they do. But I guess I understand that too. Wait, I'm gonna save the question. Yes. Wait up. I'm telling you, the pocket is slept. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, that record. I remember my friend I had a friend named Home Slice. He used to get picked on in my school when he was younger, and he grew up in the Valley, and he was kind of like a punk kid. I mean, it's like he was, I guess, but also like we were getting hip to like pop punk. I wasn't there yet. He was in the mix. But I remember, getting stoned for some of the first times of my life, just staring at that record, being like, him in the pocket going like, like just being like, whoa, what is this? And it was just me going through my dad's record collection. And he was in the mix too. And his dad, who also unfortunately passed away, they were like stoked on us finding out about that shit. So it's like they're like, oh, if you like this, check this out, And I remember that was like it wasn't like a big record for us, but it was always around, and we would just like stare at it, and we loved it. But it's also like, yeah, again, like it took me a while to get into the smooth shit. I like the hard shit initially, like I did understand what those dudes were talking about, being like fucking Tightrope by Leon, like fucking A Song for You, obviously, like A Song for You blew my fucking head off, but I was just like, don't sleep on the late shit ever, it's just like, it's like this dude is out here making the most, it's like I was out here being like listening to him and fucking Elton John, it's just like, what was that, 2010 or something? It's like, again, I get it. And it's just like, dude, Leon was in the Wrecking Crew. Like, go back, And again, even like James Taylor being the first person to get signed to Apple, there wasn't like a Beatle. It was like, of course. It's like, this is like such an easy like, oh yeah, cool. Like, just go there because you fuck with the Beatles. Or like, again, like digging for records and stuff was fun and is fun. But it's also, I feel like when you start learning really about it. Like you learn your years, you learn your labels, you learn your players, you learn your engineers, you really learn your producers. It's almost even like less about the artists so much. It's not, but it's like yeah, like if Bobby Womack played on a record, you pick it up. You know what I mean? Wait, Dance With Me by, that's a great one. Yeah, that's a really, really good one. The spot is called, is the spot called A, 2-5? No, it's called 2A that I'm DJing at tonight. You think you'll ever stream DJ sets? Yeah, I'm gonna do it but I'm gonna do it like pretty seriously when I get back. That's why I got all those. I don't know if you. Oh yeah. You commented on one of the things, but I got those crates, and what I think I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna catalog my records on Discogs while streaming and having conversations really about music. Like right now, I'm really just kind of bullshitting. I'm just like hot and like saying what's up, but like it'll be more like poignant, like. There'll be mom talks, but like all again, the intention is to kind of create the world where it's just we're talking. I mean, like again, mom will show up and stuff, but we're talking about, I don't know, like I'm looking at fucking Il Nana by Foxy Brown, and I'm looking at, oh my God, dude, That's the Way God Planned It by Billy Preston but maybe no. It's maybe my favorite record on Apple Records. I don't know. But I will say that my favorite concert of all time, it's slippery slope. There's no point of absolutes. But one of my favorite concerts, 1,000,000%, is a concert for Bangladesh. And my favorite moment is That's the Way God's Planned It. That is so bananas. Billy went to church so hard. Unbelievable. And then also, again, it's like, that's a perfect example. It blew my mind. It was like, I listen to soul music and shit. I mean, again, well, also, I grew up on rap. And then it was just like one of those things where I would play Ice Cube, and then my dad would be like, oh, so you probably like the Isley Brothers too. And I'm like, I don't even know, like, who are they, And then he put on whatever, he put on Footsteps in the Dark, and I'm like, fucking yes. Like, what the fuck, And then that same thing with like, getting into like Parliament. It's an easy one to go from like G-funk to P-funk, And so that was that. But then, so getting into Donny Hathaway, and like Roberta Flack and stuff, easy transitions from hip hop. I mean, like, or how about this, The Ghetto to, The Ghetto, it's like from Too Short to Donny Hathaway's an easy one. And I was like, oh man, oh my God, this is so good. And I loved all that music. And then like hearing a song for you by Donny Hathaway, and it's just like people being like, that song's by Donny Hathaway, and I'm over here like looking at liner notes, and it's just like remembering, putting a face to a name and being like, no, I think it's that Cult Leader guy. And then when finding about fucking Leon's first record and being like, wait, this dude is called the Master of Time and Space, and then again, like the Beatles are just the Beatles, But going to concert for Bangladesh and then seeing George Harrison, I mean, that was so many, dude, Ringo, Jim Keltner, George Harrison, fucking Bob Dylan, fucking Leon, Eric Clapton. I mean, it was just like, again, this is an easy record to pick up, being like, whoa, all these people are playing on this one record. This is so insane. And then being like Leon Russell, the same dude who wrote, that is the musical director for this. And then when he goes into Jumping Jack Flash, it's like, it was the start of the, like, I can't get too deep. There's no such thing as getting too deep. Dude, live streaming music, just, dude, yeah. Well, again, just having this, doing this, but then like also having references, or being like, going and getting a haul and being like, hey, yo, I don't know. I mean, the other day I bought fucking Timberland and Magoo, and I was just like, fucking dude, I'd play the fuck out of that and just talk to you guys forever. Home Slice is a sick ass name. He's also, you know what's the craziest thing? I mean, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's like, I feel bad saying like full names. I don't, he doesn't give a fuck. No, I don't know. He has the craziest government name ever. He has one of the craziest government names ever. And someone was picking on him and I was just like, leave Home Slice alone for whatever reason. Again, I was probably, you know, like I probably heard it in some blaxploitation film, or, you know, it was like someone was just like, what the fuck's up, Jive Turkey? And someone just like, shut up, Home Slice, whatever. And it stuck. He's still Home Slice to this day. Even the friends that he grew up with started calling him Home Slice. That was like, cause this was like late in the game for him, but his government name is it's an actual meme that like, no, it's like I'm gonna stop talking about it. Wait, discovering new stuff is awesome. I always say I want like everything more fun for me, genres. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, well, I was saying this too, you know, like, you know, me being like silly, having metaphors, yada, yada. But like, you know, I feel like Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover is like such a canned, like crazy, like just, it's so heavy, but it's become so obvious, or it just rolls off the tongue in a way where like we judge books by their covers and we say we don't, kind of thing. And I always think with producers in particular, hip hop producers, but people in general, also music, you know, like record heads and yada yada, it's like not only do they actually not judge a book by its cover, but they try to find the good in the records. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I remember really getting my mind blown thinking about like all the records I really love that DJ Premier, like, you know, just like DJ Premier is one of the fucking ones. But like some of these records are insane. Like this dude is like, I mean, I'm not saying insane, I'm saying they look corny. They look whack. Like it sucks. Their covers are shit. You know, like it's clearance bin ass whatever. And then it's like they're making magic with it, and he's finding moments and he's finding loops and he's finding these things that are like, oh my God. Wait, have you ever heard of the Electric Plums? Yeah, the Electric Plums. Oh my God, there's a dude, Holy Are You. Dude, wait, Bert, do you know that song? Do you know Holy Are You? I also, I don't know for a fact, but I think it might be Axelrod who did it, but listen to that track. It's like also even that, it's like, I mean, whatever, a band called the Electric Plums is awesome. Also like the record cover is cool. But I don't know why that comes to mind as like some like Grail-ish whatever. But also, I don't know, Galt McDermott records, I mean, they look cool, but it's also like, I don't know, Hair doesn't look like the cool, I mean, it does. I take it back. I'm being stupid. Wait, Kev, did you say you like all kinds of music? But my main goes are usually dance, house, electro, 80s pop, future funk, indie, and like metal genres, rock. I want to say I like all. I mean, it's like I like it, or I try to like it. You know, it's like yeah. But wait, what's future funk? I don't know what that is. But that's awesome. I fuck with peeps like Shaka. Yeah. Well, that's what I really truly grew up on. Have you heard? There's. Oh yeah, totally. Also, really, dude. Well, that's another thing that blew my fucking head off. Really realizing Detroit. Just realizing Detroit, dude. Oh my God, Detroit, man. You know, in my head, you know, growing up, not thinking much. You know, I think L.A., New York, and then you know, Miami because of Luke, and really Uncle Luke. Oh my God. Like truly, because it's also, that shit was like always so funny to me, and it's just so good. But when I started like putting pieces together, being like from like whatever, like Parliament to fucking obviously like Motown and shit to straight up like techno, I was like, Detroit is insane. Yeah, just the best. And so I remember when I was DJing at Goldline. Did you ever come to any of those Did you ever come to when we hung out at Goldline? I think you did, but I don't remember. I can't remember you there just because I feel like whenever we're somewhere, we end up together a lot, and I don't remember you. But also, there's a spot called Gold Line in Highland Park, and it's Peanut Butter Wolf spot, and it's pretty crazy. There's a rotary turntable or this rotary mixer, and you have to dig for his records on the spot. You can't bring any records, so you just got to know the records, or you just got to play whatever. It's pretty nuts. I was really, really nervous when I started DJing there. Also, it's crazy because I DJ'd right after the first time I was there. I DJ'd right after why am I blanking? He's so good. J Rock. I DJ'd after J Rock, and he's a legend. I mean, he's like he's like beat matching and beat juggling and doing all the shit. And I was over here being like, Luther Vandross. I was like, it's different, and I know my place when it's just like when talking to people like that. I feel like it's like if I were to go on forever, even if I went through all of my collection by the time I was there and with the records I bought during the time I just cataloged the collection, I think I have like a good foundation for those dudes to have a conversation, be like, oh, cool. The Electric Plums, awesome. Take a fucking seat, like this is, like Motown doesn't even count, or like Apple, but again, respect. Wait, what about streaming in the club though? Like cameras? I can't do that today, but I think I want to do that. If I do the light jogs thing, I think I could do that in the spot with my friend. Cause I think I could get a little webcam and I could have this little setup. Cause right now it's like really dialed because it's just, this is kind of my little guy. Wait a second. You don't care. Well, it's like to have a little thing. Because before there's no way I could do it. Now I can. So I think I will do that. If I'll hit him up. I'll get the gig. I'll do that. And then I'll have a little mic and be like, hey, yo, what's up? That'd be so, dude, could you, how funny is the idea? And again, it's going to happen. But like me DJing to a spot and then me having a microphone and I'm just talking to you guys and like people, it's like, they can't hear me at all, but like, it'll be like, oh yeah, fucking, dude, like don't sleep on Toto. Such a nerd. I love it. Yeah, of course. Wait, we cover a Leon version of Jumpin' Jack Flash. So good. He's so good. He's also just his touch is crazy. Also, again, like just thinking about Leon, like, dude, he put the Gap band on. That's insane. Like I love him so much. But truly, like Leon is top 5 to me. Like of people, because I also always not only had a soft spot, but I had like a deep, like a passionate love for the people who like had their hand in a lot of things and didn't get credit for those things. Or if you knew, you understood it pretty quickly, but if, or if you knew, you could recognize it in someone else. But like if you didn't, you would have no idea, it's like you wouldn't think that Leon did whatever. But again, it's also like John Bryan to me or something, or like I mean, I was talking to the person who was like, yo, DJ, and we were just going back and forth for a little bit. And I was just like, oh yeah, whatever. I'll put some records on. And they were like, oh, like, who do you like? And I was just like, I don't know, Burt Bacharach. And they're like, whoa, like the Austin Powers guy. And I'm like, yeah. And then we kind of went back and forth for a little bit, and they were kind of like, with all respect, but they were kind of sizing me up. And then she just went through like a Wikipedia and was like, wait a second, he wrote Alfie? Wait a second, he wrote Look of Love? Wait a second. And I was over here being like, homie, and again, like that, and it's like he wrote that shit. Like it's like my favorite, some of my favorites could be, I mean, I love like Aretha Franklin doing anything. Sure, of course. It's like Aretha is just gonna turn anything into Aretha. But like Isaac Hayes doing Bert, ooh. And that too, like just like acknowledging a song and then like flipping it, being like, okay, cool. The Look of Love, I'm gonna turn this into a 15-minute banger. And we're just gonna vibe and guitars will be, but then it's like, I don't know, like just straight up like fucking like Dionne Warwick just doing like any is so good. Dionne Warwick doing any Burt Bacharach, you know, but yeah, yeah, again, I love it. He's so good. And it was funny because she was just like, oh shit, like, oh, my bad. My dad started me early. Yeah, Bobby called, never understood why, yeah, oh my God. Yeah, 100%. I mean, Blue Eyed Soul, I think that with that stuff, you know, my dad kind of looked at it very like if he thought that like if Blue Eyes could like break through into anything he really loved, he really, 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 really loved it. He was just like, and also again, like he'd be lenient because he liked music, but he like loved it. You know, it wasn't one of those like, oh man, like, oh, look at this like white dude could sing. He's just like, don't ever disrespect, you know, just who cares, you know, like Bowie doing Young. It's like Bowie found fucking Luther Vandross. You know what I mean? It's like, let's not get it twisted. And it's not like found, but it's just like, you know, what did Luther do before like that pizza jingle thing? And then it's just like he's singing on Young Americans. But yeah, it's funny. It's also, again, it's like good is good. You know, I feel like that's kind of the like also, but it's like, dude, half of Stax was white, you know what I mean? Or at least early Stax, you know? And then like, you know, again, I think it's one of those things like the arts and like sports and whatnot. It's just like, it really does like, it could bring racism to its knees. It's like if you got the goods, you know, respect. I mean, dude, like Rick Hall, like Fame Records, you know what I mean? It's just like that world. Like, could you imagine? Like he's putting those sessions together. Like, you know, everyone's looking at Rick like, dude, you're the dude, you know? Yeah. Dan Penn and shit. The shitty cheesy cover thing is a bit like yeah, totally. Also, yeah, it's funny because now it seems like almost like it's cool. The Electric Plums are from the Valley, dude. Also, oh my God, Valley Girl. I love the Valley and I love people who love the Valley because people from the Valley love the Valley. It was funny. Home Slice was from the Valley and there was like a big point of contention over the Hill kids. And I was always like, I fuck with the Valley. And my oldest friend finally moved out and he was just like, he's the only other person who like really loved the Valley from where we were from. No, I was saying that I like those. Oh, yeah. My brother would show me some really hilarious album covers. Then you listen and cry. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, it's funny too. I mean, it's like I also really thinking about this channel, and am I anything with anything music? I get it. Artists were putting out a record a year, 2 records a year. I mean, like Frank Sinatra has what, 50 records, you know, 60 records. But again, it's like I'm saying, like there were songwriters, man. And then there were musicians, you know, there were people who played that shit. And again, I'm not saying artists in the bottom of the totem pole, but it's like if you had a fucking song on your hands and you had the Wrecking Crew or you had the Funk Brothers behind you or you had, you know, if you had Willie Mitchell producing a 45 of yours and, you know, you had like the Hodge brothers playing behind you, they could put my mom could be a star. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that in the way where like, oh, we like her because she fucks the things up in a fun way. I'm talking like you could pick anyone off the street and it'll sound great. And I'm not saying that towards like it's like I'm looking at Diana Ross staring at me. I'm like, you can't just change Diana Ross, you know? But I'm like, yeah, there's like levels, you know, and it's like, and so the thing is, yeah, it's easy for Sinatra to put out 2 records because he's got amazing musicians playing their music and it's just a fucking day's work for them, literally. Not even a day's work. I mean, they could cut a side of an album in a day, and then he's picking amazing songs because they're fucking amazing songs. You know, it's just like, maybe not him, but it's like, let's just say if you're, I don't know, like if Phil Spector were to write some tunes, or if Phil Spector were to go to like the Brill Building, or at least know Brill Building fucking, you know, songwriters, and being like, cool, like Carole King, put her on every day, just have her just write songs, and she does. And then they have a hit forever. You know, it's like they could just get, you know, like they have a hit forever. Again, like I said, it was the bands of the 60s that didn't ruin things. And this isn't my idea, but it was like, once people were like, I want to write my music and I want to perform my music, well, then it's not, there becomes a version of public access. It becomes a version of YouTube where people are like, oh, well, YouTube documentaries, that's a bad word compared to like a doc, because anyone could have a YouTube channel where, like, yeah, anyone could have a guitar and you can learn how to play the guitar. But it's like, yeah, you know, like when Brian Wilson was trying, rest in peace to the God, it's just like when he was trying to like throw his hat in the ring with Phil Spector, he was like, I love you, Dennis, but you can't play the drums. You know, it's like, I love you guys, not even like family. I love you guys as my family, but you guys can't play. I'm not going to let you touch. It's like, Hal Blaine is going to be behind the drums. You know, Carol Kay is going to be playing the bass. But none of this game shit, dude. And it's funny because it's like, by that point, it's just like, you know, they're going on tour and they're, you know, covering Wouldn't It Be Nice? But they're covering, it's like not even that. It's like they're covering other people's, you know, interpretation of his chord progressions. For real, though. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, yeah, you know, it's like, there's a really good documentary about the Wrecking Crew, and it was like, I think Tommy Tedesco, I think it was a Monkees song or something. No, it wasn't the Monkees, but it was something. But he was like, he just had some fucking spicy ass lick. You know, he just put it down because he felt good that day, and he fucking did his thing. And the band was like, I can't play that. It's like, I can't, what the fuck I can't do that. You know, it's like, that's so funny. But I get to I think that it's like, you know, if people are pumping out music so easily at that time, especially because they're also covering songs that are like well known, and it's kind of filler stuff, but also they're good, you know, it's like, it's good stuff, you know. You're probably a little less precious about an album cover, you know, like some are really amazing. I mean, like, I don't know, like Andy Warhol's stuff, you know, like the zipper stones, that whole stuff, super sick, or, you know, whatever. Like you run into like a Morrissey, and obviously like with the Smiths, it's very like curated, and like it's particular, or like Thorm Storgerson doing record covers, or, you know, whatever, Stanley Dunwood or whatever. But it's like, yeah, back in the day, it's just like a photographer, and like just like Diana's putting out a record, and it's just like that's it's not a bad album cover. I mean, it was, you know, it's like, it's not like they, you know, they had all the information. She looks great. But yeah, but it's like, it's just that thing where it's just like, I think that by this point, because people don't put out music as much as they did, it's like, this needs to be a statement piece or something, compared to, I mean, I also feel like the same thing about like having the conversation about Michel Gondry, like Michel Gondry making a music video. Like I remember that being so referenced, like the Fell in Love with a Girl or whatever, or like some Spike Jones video. It's like looking at all like the old videos of like Motown and shit. It's like, it's just nothing. It's just like, it's like they're performing, you know. It's like, once it's like a piece that, you know, could change all of it, you look at it differently. But it's like, just because those record covers, maybe some of them are a little cheesy, doesn't mean that isn't like this is the fucking best thing ever. Like, that's like, this. I mean, again, this isn't corny, but it's like, I don't know, you know what I mean, you know? Or like, I mean, this is the best. This is the best. But again, it's just like, it's a picture, you know? Compared to like, this seems like, okay, cool, let's be art nerds. you know? Like let's do some shit, you know? Oh yeah, speaking of, dude, you kidding? I'll be playing this tonight. Dude, Rainbow in Your Eyes. Dude, the best. It's also so funny again, like, oh my God, fantasy is so good. But it's like, yeah, like it's like you thinking that like those feels. Oh yeah. Future funk usually takes the elements of samples of funk and disco and like house and modernizes it. I'm stoked. I'll check it out for sure. 60s and 80s samples. I'm down. I feel like some of the sample stuff I really, really, really love. I mean, sampling is like one of my favorite things, maybe like ever. Not because I really listen to sampled music too much anymore. I mean, I do. I mean, I don't not, but I have such a soft spot for, oh my God, how about that one? Oh my God, yeah. Did you, here's a fun fact. The fucking, the Lin drum. Dude, Lin. The first like drum machine, Leon Russell was like, this is important. And they were like, I'm going to put you in this band to put you on retainer so you could make drum machines. So, and he had a few really big, like backers, you know, or just like people who invested in just like his vision. And one of them was Stevie Wonder, which makes total sense because Stevie is very in Tomorrowland forever. But yeah, learning about that shit, being like, and then thinking about someone like I remember, yeah, like thinking of Jay Dilla's relationship with the Lin drum. Are you kidding me? You know, again, but these are like my like holy figures. You know, these are my everything. This is like, you know, these are the pictures I want on my wall, and like these are the stories that like choke me up and shit. Because it's like the thing, like I was saying with sampling, is I forgot what year it was, but the blackout in New York, where it was just like, you know, kids stealing record players and samplers and stuff, and obviously it's a bummer, but also it happened, you know. But just you know, there's a time in this world. There was a time in this world where you played you play your parents' records and don't fucking touch them, but you play your parents would put on records to just play music because it's the only real way to play at a time, and then you walk away, and then it's just like, wait a second, like kids, like young like hip hop kids for real, and not, I mean, obviously there's a lot of things going on, but like really when like sampling was just like the thing, it's like kids in like the Bronx looking at a fucking turntable as an instrument, looking at a sampler as a fucking, again, like not some like, oh cool, here is, you know, like, because also what's the first what was a drum machine that it was it Purdy who's oh no, I forgot. But again, it's also like, yeah, like it's like yeah, using a drum machine to play alongside, or using a sampler to play alongside, as opposed to using a sampler to work around. What? Are you kidding? That's insane. But I think, by this point, I feel like samples are just so everywhere, and it's just like such like a common thing because it, you know, anyone could sample anything, and I'm so stoked on it. But I haven't really like felt the way I felt when I like listened to like DJ Shadow or something. But that's probably just me not digging hard enough. It's technically an offshoot of vaporwave. I got blind spots for real. I gotta get hip. Yo, Cello, how's it going, man? They say I'm different. Yeah, well, that's of course, but that's like that record cover will just like stop anyone in their tracks if they have eyes, you know, like that's it right there. I mean, also, especially at that time, it's like those Miles Davis records, but also, you know, I don't know, like still to this day, my favorite like oh my God, Impulse Records or Blue Note Records. Oh my God, I lose it. They're the, oh my God. Who is it? It's Francis Lyon and Reed Wolf. No. Reed. I have a friend. That's it. Reed Lyon and Francis Wolf. That's insane. They're insane. Like that design is insane. I mean, it's like, it's also like I love those, or like the CTI records, but like I loved like when I really came across. Yeah, that marketing was so good. I'm just thinking about like Motown being like the sound of young America. Oh my God, if that's not fucking facts, I don't know what it was, but it's also, again, I mean, obviously I wasn't there, but oh my God, that's so sick. But, or Stevie being the eighth wonder of the world. It's just like, oh my God, like a writer wrote that. You know what I mean? It's like, that's like, there's no fat on that shit. The eighth wonder of the world. But yeah, I always loved, and Blue Note, I think does it to me the most, but like there being like how pristine an album cover is, or whatever an album cover is, and then it really reflecting what the music is within it. I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Like, it's like, for some reason, like, you know, like as like a kid that like was getting into music, it was like I was looking at those covers and thinking that I was classy because I held them and they were mine. And then I listened to that music and I also felt like I was classy because I listened to them and it was my, you know, I was like, whoa, this is so cool. But I mean, again, that happens, but it's like, you know, I also love, what's that dude? I forgot their names. It's horrible of me, but the old, like, I mean, they're getting credit more than ever now, but they're, what the fuck? Pen and Pixel? Is it? Yeah, it's like Pixel and Pen or something. But the dudes who did the design crew who did like the early like No Limit records and shit, Cash Money records, like those, like what you thought were not bootleggy, but like kind of like bootleg shirts. They were so good. That's exactly what I mean. Funny, cheesy portraits and listening. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I also feel like it's like, again, at the time, music sold itself straight up. You know, it's like they don't, you know, they didn't need shit to sell. You know, I mean, also it's like even thinking about like, oh my God, well, also this has a break. This has one of my favorite, like that shit. Oh my God. This has one of my favorite Dog Pound breaks on it. But it's like, that is fucking, but it's funny too, because it's come back around. It's like, again, this is what I'm saying. When I was a kid, I was like, that's fucking whack. That's a lame bullshit. And then I'm like, wait a second. I listen to the music, and I'm staring at that because, you know, it's like, you know, when you get into records, or especially if you're younger, it's like, you know, I didn't have like a phone and shit. I just stared at a record cover. And then it's just like, once I kind of realized, it was like, once I see that record, and then I think to myself, oh shit, Smooth by the Dog Pound. I'm thinking about Daz. I'm thinking about Corrupt. I'm thinking about fucking Death Row. I'm thinking about Dre. I'm thinking about Suge. I'm thinking about, you know, Junior Mafia as a response in some regard. And then I'm fucking, you know, I'm like out here. Like, also, one second. This one's so good too. But I'm out here thinking about all that shit and looking at this, and I'm like, you know, look at that. Oh my God. But the thing is, then I'm like, I don't know. He looks good, man. He looks fucking cool. He looks smooth. You know, it's just like, it's like one of those things where I was just like, oh no, that's my bad. It's like, I get it, because I was also just pulling out like this, you know, it's impossible to not think is rad, you know, at least in my books, you know, like I see this growing up and I pull it down, you know, it's like if I'm looking at this and then I'm looking at this, I'm like, all right, let's just see, you know, what the fuck, you know, Marvin Gaye's about. But again, it's like, you know, I missed it. I was gonna go see Kyle Mooney at Amoeba. He also had a listening party at the Gold Line because he's on Stone's Throw, and it's like his whole shtick is this, you know. It's like this is what it is, you know. It's like he's not. It's like, oh my god, never mind. This is the sickest thing ever. Look how fucking funny that is, dude. The gatefold for this could you imagine like the fucking like the art director being like, no, we gotta get twice the cardboard because we need this photo in there. We need this. We can't not have that photo, you know? But they're also just like, hey, yo, it's not the album cover, but it's a necessity. You know, it's not the album cover, but that shit needs to be in there. That's like, you know, that's what. But again, that's when again, you know, it's like also it's one of those things where like, you know, you get a little older, you have a few beers and you start looking at it and then you're just like, oh my God, I love this. You know, like you get stoned or you know, it's just one of it's like something happens to you and then you think to yourself, nah, man, like that is so cool. Cause it's like, you know, your perspective just, you know, you allow more in, you start to understand that like cool is more than what you just thought it was in high school and shit. But I love listening to this, but I'll be honest and say I don't know what. Please give me homework. Okay, Laura, where do you want to start? Do you want to start simple? You should start simple. Okay, here, you want some homework? Okay, I'll give you here from whatever I just said. Also, I'm sorry, there's a lot. I'm throwing a lot at you. But I would say listen to Donny Hathaway's greatest hits of all the things. Listen to, Donny Hathaway's greatest hits. It's good. I promise you, you're gonna fuck with it. Like, and we can go from there. Then I could explain who Leon is a little bit further. And oh my god, Mary Clayton. Oh yeah. And I'll tell you from there. Also, you know, I think also Laura, which is again, I'm just like in New York right now, and I'm just like showing you stuff. When I start doing this at my place with my turntable, I'll show you examples, and it'll be so easy. I mean, granted, I do have a tendency to kind of be a little bit all over the place and be like, oh my God, this, and oh my God, that, and oh my God, this. But I'll be like, oh, cool, we're talking about RZA today, and these are some samples. And he's using the Romeo and Juliet theme as well as the Underdog theme. But I'll have examples for you. What about, yeah, amazing. But again, you know, when you get into like the Blind Faith and stuff, it's like they're using the power of the album cover. I think that also like the Beatles, I think that like, you know, like I remember, you know, Paul McCartney was talking about how Revolver was like the first time they were like, oh, we tried to be a little bit far out with our album covers because it was like on a tilt, and it was just like, I don't know. I mean, again, I wasn't there, so I really can't put it in context, but I'm like, that album cover doesn't seem like you're fucking doing anything crazy. But then it's just like, you know, you obviously get into Sgt. Pepper's and you're just like, oh, this is like actually psychedelic, you know, or you know, thinking about Jimi Hendrix. It's like that is like Axis Bold as Love. That is psych rock, dude. That's fucking psychedelic, man, and like cool. Dude, I was walking to see my friend yesterday, and there was a room. Oh my God, I love it so much. I love New York. But there was like a room on the first floor of an apartment, and the window was open, and I don't think anyone was in the room, but there was just books, and I just love like shit stacked up. But there were books and records and this and that, and then one door was just tagged up, and on it was the Axis Bold as Love, or album cover. And I was like, oh dude, yes, that is the coolest thing ever. Also, I used to be obsessed with Jimi Hendrix. That was like when I was in a rap, and then It was Curtis Mayfield and Jimmy. And it's also funny, which I did not know. I could not put those two things together until I was way older. But hearing that Jimi Hendrix really wanted to play like Curtis, I like it blew my mind. I was like, yeah, for sure. It's also funny where I'm like, I mean, Jimmy is so good. But Curtis, dude, oh my God. Curtis is my number one. No, I mean, also, okay, so I don't know. I'll have like some funny, stupid, like Leon, Curtis, John Bryan's my, whatever. I'm never going to stop. But also, wait, this album cover. And this is also what I was saying with the gatefold. Like, I think I don't think I was actually talking about it here. I was talking to my friend about it. Because I think that with the idea that I have an idea for a thing with mom, and music has a part of it, and I want it to be kind of like this, like, oh my God, it's so good. Like it's Curtis, it's Superfly. You're buying a Superfly album, but you also know you're buying a Curtis Mayfield album. It's like this design is bonkers. But there's a record called I think it's just called Mary Clayton. And on the Lou Adler produced it. Shout out to Lou Adler. And a lot of the Jazz Crusaders played on the record. And one person in particular, Wilton Felder, he used to play bass for Motown. It was like he did that. Like Wilton Felder played bass on, what is that? What's that? I'm drawing a blank. What's the fucking what's the Jacksons, the boom ba ba da boom ba da ba da ba da ba 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 ba. Take me back. No, that's you know what I mean. But the thing is, it was like at the time where, like, I mean, he obviously the main bass player. Okay, how about this? Okay, also wait, Laura. So one of the things that I did when learning about all these things was back in the 60s and the 70s, 50s for sure, they had session musicians, and session musicians played the music on the records that we know and love. And sometimes it wasn't like the band you're seeing, yeah, I Want You Back. Yeah. Yes. Yo, Dawn's Light, how's it going? Wait, did you change your name? But also, hey, but so, cause I was also going to say that, like, obviously we know. Okay. So Laura, so in Motown, it was a band called the Funk Brothers. So like when you're listening to the Supremes, or you're listening to the Four Tops, or you're listening to, like you're listening to Marvin Gaye, or you're listening to, Eddie Kendricks, like it's like if you're listening to like this record, I mean, this is like later, also just so fierce, like so, oh my God, so good. But like if you're listening to that record and you're listening to like the Jacksons, you're listening to the same band. They're called the Funk Brothers. They're a house band. So a lot of people all over, like they had a house, like there was a house band in, good. You, okay. Sick. How's it going? Nice to see you. I just feel like I haven't seen that name, but glad you're here. I love his falsetto. Motherfucking right. Yeah, dude. Yes. Oh my God. So great. So great. But so, yeah, so it's like, again, like, so like, let's just say in Motown, like Smokey Robinson wrote a lot of those songs. And then if Smokey wrote like a hit, like, I don't know, like whatever, if Smokey wrote a hit, then the Supremes and, the Temptations or Gladys Knight and the Pips, they could all cover it because it's all Smokey, it's all Motown. So they would have a band that would play all those songs, and then they could just change up the feel, but it's all still the same people playing the same thing. That's why it's like when you listen to Motown, it really is, there's a sound to it, And so those are house bands. And so once you kind of get into that world, you're like, oh, well, like sometimes some people went off and played on other records. And so immediately, so there's a dude named Wilton Felder, the main bass player of the Funk Brothers was this dude named James Jamerson, and he's nuts. Like he's the person who you hear on like My Sharia Moore and like For Once in My Life. Like if you listen to For Once in My Life, I feel like that's so James Jamerson. Or even if you listen to like What's Going On, it's the same person. But the thing was, they wouldn't like allow, at a time, they wouldn't allow those musicians to go on tour with the bands because it'd be a loss and they'd be losing money. It's like if you can go out, imagine like these musicians can go out and play one show a night, or they could cut 6 songs in a day because they're the best musicians. But it's just crazy because it's like there's a documentary about the Funk Brothers called it's called Standing in the Shadows of Motown, and it was crazy. I forgot who said it. I forgot who said it. It wasn't Coffee, but there's a few players over there, and so it's like some people, have off or like they're sick or this and that, so there's a few bass players, a few guitar players, a few drummers, but there was a moment that was like so sad. And again, like I was like young and like just so like smitten by all this stuff, but also just like kind of like heartbroken. Like I heard a story where when I first watched that, I forgot who said it. I feel like an asshole, but it's like once the Beatles or once the band started being like, Led Zeppelin that was 4 dudes and they played their instruments and they didn't need a session musician anymore. And they were who they were, like Sabbath. And like around, there was a time where like, again, the Beatles didn't have people on records. I mean, some say they do, and Billy Preston played on some stuff, but for the most part, it was the Beatles, But so once that changed, people stopped using session musicians. And then again, these musicians didn't have like names, I mean, they had names and respect within the world of music, but they're not stars, Like Glenn Campbell broke out as a star. He was in the Wrecking Crew and he became a star. Leon Russell was in the Wrecking Crew and he became Leon Russell. But like Carol Kay, like there's a woman, Carol Kay, who played on Pet Sounds and also did the bass line for like These Boots Were Made for Walking. Again, like I swear to God, I could tear up right now because it's like I have the chills thinking about it. But like when you hear how fucking cool the dum 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 dum, it's just like that's Carol fucking Kay. That's Carol fucking Kay, And it's like again, like it's like I was saying this to someone yesterday. I remember listening to an interview with Quentin Tarantino when I was a kid. And he was just like, oh, when I grew up watching movies, I just wanted to be an actor, because he didn't know anyone could do anything else. He just sees Lucy and he's just like, I want to be Ricky, It's not like, oh, there's producers and sound designers and, whatever. It's just what's in front of you. And so it's like when you hear These Boots Were Made for Walking, you just think Nancy Sinatra. You don't think that there's a person who's came up with that shit. They were like, oh, we need a fucking intro. And it's just like, oh, I got you, And it's like, what the fuck? But it was so sad because it's like also, it was even during the pandemic, and I'm such an idiot for not taking advantage of it. But my good friend, dude, she gives lessons on Zoom. That's insane. Like he bought me a lesson with Carol Kay, and I was like, I don't know what I would ask. I would just sit and just say, I love you for an hour. It's like, so I didn't even use it. I feel like such a fucking idiot, but what am I going to say? I'm like, I know what your contribution to music is, and I think the world of it. And also, like, what am I going to do? Like, ask her how to fucking play? Like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't made for these times or something. It's like, I could figure it out, but yeah, so there was a moment, again, I was like younger and I was like learning this stuff. And then there was a moment where these musicians, some of these Motown musicians were like, they were out of work, and they were just, whatever. And then they were at like a Waffle House or something, and they were probably in Detroit, and My Girl came on, and I forgot the guitar player, but like he came up with it like, doom, 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 whatever. Like that lick is so My Girl, dude. And in the movie, he was like, it came on, and then he was like gonna be like, oh my God, like I did, and he just stopped being like, she wouldn't even believe me if I even said that I wrote that lick, And I'm over here being like, no, no, oh my God, these are my favorite. It's like, again, all this music, it's like, this is my favorite shit. And like, people aren't getting credit for the things that they did. I'm so sad. I'm so sad, And I mean, like, again, it's like the scratch documentary. It's like the best of us end up in the clearance bin. It's just like Marvin Gaye ends up in the clearance bin. Like, James Brown ends up in the clearance bin. But, and again, I'm not saying that like, people need to acknowledge everyone who touched a record or whatnot. But I do. It's like I like to give credit. And so this is kind of like the geeky shit that I'm talking about. So like Leon was a session guy, and that means he knew a bunch of session people. So he could get a crew together of musicians that were fucking musicians. And that's a different thing too. And it's like, maybe this is a bit of me being an asshole. Really not trying to. It's like, I think it's more so me trying to pay respect to the people who I really admire. But there's a lot of people who play music that aren't really musicians to me. There are a lot of people who are musicians who don't get credit for being a musician. It's like, it's like when someone has ears, when someone could pick up a guitar and they don't need, a piano or whatever, and they don't need, it's like if you could hear a track and you know what it is, and you're like, oh wow, this is, it's like people could do this without holding an instrument in hand, like people have, it's like not maybe perfect pitch, but relative pitch. These are things that are like bonkers. Or when I see it, I'm like, oh shit, like, oh, this is, and sometimes it's like one thing I just love about some of these musicians is they try to serve a song. They don't try to like, they don't try to play so hard. Like some musicians try to show off, or maybe that might be the sign of a not ready yet. Like they're an amateur, but some people are like, oh no, this will make the song better. It's also now thinking again. I'm wearing a Boyz II Men shirt. And you remember that episode I had when when that journalist disrespected Babyface. Babyface is a perfect example of he wrote songs. I mean, he wrote for the Whispers to Boyz II Men, and he's also like an artist. He broke through. It's really uncommon. It's not, it's like Burt Bacharach being one of my favorites, where like he's a songwriter, but and he broke through, but for some strange reason, I don't know how it happened. I really wish I could figure it out, but for some reason, people of a certain age know his name. I don't know where they were giving him credit. Because I mean, he performed, but not really. He did, and he had solo records, but they were all like really interesting, funny arrangements of his songs. But realistically, like when you think of I Say a Little Prayer, Say a Little Prayer, you think of Aretha. When you think of His House Is Not a Home, you could be thinking of, like Luther, or like, I don't know, you think of like Tom Jones and shit when you think of some of Burt Bacharach songs, but for some reason people knew who he was. I don't know where that was. That's an interesting one. I really got to do my homework on that. Because also I read his book, and all I really remembered was he had a moment in the 60s that was really big. 70s was a downtime. 80s he came back and wrote a bunch of like real big pop songs. But for some reason, all I could remember was he talked about boobs a lot. He talks about like girls. He was like, oh yeah, like back at this time, like she was a real looker. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, sure. But I'm like, what the, like, I'm like trying to find some like really dry, like, what did you write on? What are the things you wrote on that I don't know? Like, what are the things you didn't get credit for that I maybe could spot out if I heard? And I was like, maybe whatever. But like he gave more anecdotes about his life, and I was just like, oh, this is cool, but like, oh, I wish this book was bigger. And then you told me about ladies, but give me the guts. Like, dude, remember he said it a few times. Wait, with the spare another one, like, spying that without even knowing. Oh yeah, Danny Thomas on the double. Oh yeah, for sure too. Yeah, I mean, oh my god! But also, again, when you start digging, you buy on. Well, but again, the game is fucked now because it's like before you really you could put away $10 and buy 10 records just based on their album covers, and that won't be shit. And you'll learn about fucking music, man. Same with the background singers. Saw a documentary on the same. Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of them. So that woman, Mary Clayton, who is like the Mary Clayton record is so good because also, again, I found out a lot about these things, especially the cuttier things, because of rap. And so there's a dude named Cool Breeze, who's one of my favorite rappers in this group called the Dungeon Family, and the Dungeon Family is like. It's like Organized Noise. Organized Noise come from Atlanta, and it was like Outkast, Goody Mob. Who's the dude who sang the hook on? Was it Witch Doctor who sang the hook on like I Like the Way You Move and shit? Sleepy Brown. Sorry, and then Cool Breeze, and there's probably a few others in there. And then Cool Breeze had a record that came out called Watch for the Hook, and Watch for the Hook had a Mary Clayton sample. And I was like, oh my God, this song is the fucking best. And what the fuck? Like, who's this lady? And then you find out that like Mary Clayton is the person who sang on Gimme Shelter. And it's like, oh shit. And again, the reason why I even brought it up earlier today is because Curtis really is like my everything. And there was like, it was one of my ones, but there was a little snippet on the back of the Mary Clayton record, her first solo record, and it was the first time she was a backup singer. Like no one it's like people knew who she was. I mean, it's just like Mick Jagger knew enough to be like, can you really come and flip this fucking record into what the fuck it is? Because it's also that too. It's just like, how many times have people heard Gimme Shelter and they're like, oh my God, like this woman's cooking, and like they have no idea who she is, And also it's a really sad story. He called her up. No, I forgot who did. I forgot who recorded the record. And I forgot how we even heard this story. Maybe it was also in a documentary about backup singers. Because there was another one. It was called, oh God, it's so sad. Again, so fucking sad. It was called like 6 Feet from Stardom or something. And it was just like, they were on stage, but they just never got it. And so she got a phone call like in the middle of the night. And she was pregnant, like pregnant, and they sang, like she sang her heart out, and then she had a miscarriage, and I don't know if it was her or someone around her, but they were like, I think it's like she just did so much, and it was because so some people say that it was because of the Gimme Shelter session, and so it was just like, oh my God, crazy. But there's a few documentaries about this kind of subject. Not enough, but there is a few. Also, I'm sure that there are like YouTube people who, like, I mean, if I knew how to do the research, I would be telling these stories. I mean, that's all I'm trying to do right now as well. Boobs are pretty good though. I'm with again. I understand. Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. That's it. That's exactly it, Muzza. The Watch for the Hook break is her version of Southern Man. Also, dude, Neil Young, Jesus. But it's also that too. Again, it's like, and it's a trip. She probably has my favorite version of A Song for You on that record. Because she goes to church harder than I've ever heard anyone on that record. But again, it's like I'm saying too, like to Laura, like going and listening to Donny Hathaway's version is so good, but it's also like it's clean, And again, I love it. It's like, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but oh my God, when you listen to Mary Clayton's version, it's fucking dirty. Or when you listen to fucking Leon's version, it's fucking dirty. Wait, I love that story. My pops always tells. Oh my God, dude, that's all, dude, so sick. I mean, yeah, again, I mean, I remember when it's also crazy just remembering, like hearing some of those stories or learning about them and then thinking that like, I don't know, like talking to people who really like music and stuff, because it's like, it was probably around a time when like some people took it so seriously they're about to get into it professionally, or they just kind of like it. And you have some of those stories and people are like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? And it's like, I don't know, this is real, or like, yeah, like check out 6 Feet from Stardom or whatever, And it's weird because it's like, I don't know what it is. It is this like, obviously it's not like a curse or anything, but it's like, I don't know. People just don't get credit for some reason. Some people just, Hal Blaine was essentially the leader of the Wrecking Crew. He was like I mean, well, Phil Spector put him together, but like Hal was the guy. Hal was the guy who knew all the people, was just like, oh, bring her, oh my God, this, oh my God, this, whatever. And also who you kind of like look to. He was the band leader, he was just the band leader. And, I just remember stories of like, well, for one thing, yeah, like he got a divorce, fucking half was gone. And by the time it was the end, he was like a strip mall security guard. Are you kidding me? I also remember my friend went to an estate sale of Hal's that also John Bryan was a part of, and he bought a bunch of like, trash. It wasn't trash, obviously. It's I mean, obviously, I could talk. There's no words for what it is. I mean, these are historical relics. These are holy items. I don't know. And he bought a bunch of shakers and snares, and he bought my friend a thing. And I'm like, you have Hal Blaine's what? It's also crazy too, thinking about it. Griff it's probably burned from the fires. Oh my God. And it's like one of those things where like, this is, especially when like, you get to those movies and you're watching the end of them and they're just like, there's just a bunch of like fucking credits. And it's just like, I think it was especially at the end of Standing in the Shadow of Motown. It's just like the Funk Brothers played on more hit songs than the Beatles and Sinatra and fucking Elvis and Nancy Sinatra and Roy Orbison and whatever, and like all of these people, and then at the end it's just like combined, and it's just like, what? It's like, you're like, what the fuck? Like, you're really thinking about it, being like, it's like, it's like we've heard like just like a handful, especially again like our parents' music, or again our music. I don't know how old everyone is here, but it's like there's like a handful of people that like touched on all of these things until you get into the you get into like the rock and roll, and it's like that's when the people are playing their instruments. So true, like that woman that sang, oh yeah, exactly, and that's also another thing. It's like, dude, I would kill to be 100 times better at it, but I'm not the best at at citing all this stuff. I mean, look, Wilton Felder played on he produced a Bullet soundtrack, the Bullet soundtrack, and his name comes up a lot. Oh my God, look, I don't know. See, look, I'm a fucking dweeb. Like, dude, Wah played guitar on this record. Oh my God, dude, Ray Parker Jr. Dude, again, this is what I'm saying. Dude, this record is one of my favorite Marvin Gaye records. Hands down, easy. Ray Parker Jr. played guitar on this. Again, I just don't know what he did where, and also a lot of people could probably play because with Motown arrangements, but Ray Parker Jr. also wrote the theme song for the Ghostbusters. He wrote the ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. He wrote that. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. It's like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Crazy. But oh my God, you're just saying if you're Okay, wait. She Def made that song and gave me the chills to. Oh yeah, that's what I'm. But that's also it too. You know, it's like there's a few people still where it's like, yeah, you know, it's crazy to me to think that like, you know, there's like a fucking there's like again like a producer or a someone, because again like Hal Blaine was one of those people, or let's just say Leon was one of those people, or Phil Spector was one of those people, or Brian Wilson was one of those people who were like this song is good, but it needs to go to church. I got someone. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no. You know, it's like I remember I was with someone, I was with the band in a session, and they were like, there was a producer who's really, really great. His name is wait, Muzza, have you ever heard of here's a good one. Have you ever heard of Jonathan Wilson? If you haven't heard of Jonathan Wilson, look him up and you'll get your mind blown a bit for sure. And listen to his solo stuff, but this is also kind of late. But he is a really great producer. He also produced a lot. I think his real big ones were like the Father John Misty early records. But he was like, oh, this record needs spirituality, if you will. And he called up a tambourine player. And it was just this woman who, you know, it's like, again, this is what I'm saying about all of it. She wasn't even playing the tambourine. She is the tambourine, you know, the tambourine was a part of her, you know, Jonathan. Yeah. The tambourine was just like, she wasn't playing shit. She wasn't playing shit. She heard a track and was just shook. And it was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, again, like that's some shit. You can't learn that shit, you know? She just had a tambourine in her hand most of her life. And it was just like, oh yeah, and again, it's like, you can't even like direct that shit. I mean, unless again, like if you're Brian Wilson and everything turns into essentially this like very, very highly arranged, beautiful, whatever. But like when you're, you know, like I'm sure you could say some shit to James Jamerson, but you're going to get whatever he gives. You know, it's just like, I mean, you know, I think that, you know, Wilson, you know, like I remember finding out about Blake and he was like, someone was just like, you can't tame a stallion or some shit, you know? And it's like, and it was at a time where I feel like Blake was also playing with people, but he was young. And it was one of those things where like, you're not going to be able to, like, unless you're Brian Wilson, unless you're, you know, Joni Mitchell, you're not going to be able to really produce Blake. Blake is going to be Blake, you know? And it was just one of those like, yeah, you know, and it's just like, again, like being in those rooms in the early days was like, oh yeah, I could totally see that. Wait, that story is sad. I heard, yeah, it's a bummer. It's like Patsy Cline, Willie Nelson met. That's exactly what it is. And again, that's where I want to live in terms of my stories, you know? Side note, did you see Buckethead and Bootsy align? No, I didn't, but I did see, I don't really check my mom's account much unless like I'm posting, but I was like on mine because I was like messaging a friend and I did see that he wrote me, but I think that it was like, or wrote her or they wrote us or whatever, but I didn't, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just like, yo, did you see this? I feel like when I get back to like, when mom and I are back to like normal, I'm sure we'll be like, I'll go through all those things. Cause again, I'm at a point right now in my life where the responding to things is so overwhelming that I'm just not. So it's like, I'm going to need a day or something. But Bootsy is definitely on that list, which is also fucking nuts. Bootsy's another perfect example. Bootsy Collins fucking, just this. Bootsy Collins playing with fucking James Brown and James Brown being like, bitch, the fucking one. Like you hit the one. Whatever the fuck you do, you hit the one. If you're off, I'll fine you, but also hit the one. Again, like I bet you if you're off, he'll fine you, but if you don't hit the one, he'll fire you. I mean, I don't know that firsthand, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the fucking case. And then when Bootsy met George Clinton, and George Clinton was just like, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck, you know, like, yo, you do you. But then Bootsy brought the one to Parliament. What? Are you are you joking? But again, that's Boots. Also Bootsy with like the space and all his pedals. And oh my God, Bernie Worrell. Bernie Worrell's another one. It's just like those lines on those synths. I think Red Bull did like a little documentary on him. I haven't seen it for a while, but that's another insane story where like, thank God the Talking Heads picked him up, but it's like Bernie Worrell could have just been like I don't know. It's like, I mean, like, it's just insane to think that like someone like that could just be like, just not ever understood, you know, or not understood because it's like, whatever, like he's like an actual genius. But like, just forgotten, you know? And like, besides like the Heads, where it's just like, but again, like if you're thinking about Let Me Ride ever, if you hear Let Me Ride by fucking, you know, Dre, that's an interpolation of Bernie, you know? I mean, granted, there's a lot more moving parts, but that's it too, you know? I remember telling my mom when she started becoming a little more discerning about all this stuff, she started taking these conversations a little more seriously. Granted, probably like Laura, like this is over people's heads if they're not in it. But if they're in it, it's like I'm only giving you game. You know, I'm only like, yeah, look up Mary Clayton. Like, look up fucking Watch for the Hook by fucking Cool Breeze. Look up the Dungeon Family record. Insane. That's also Arista. That's also Babyface has something to do with, you know, it's like, it's only Rich. But just it was funny because it was like there's, you know, her whole adult life basically, or her, I mean, I feel like it's like I feel like it's safe to say where like whenever she met my dad, I was also in her life in some regard. But like since she met us, she's had like a wall of records in her house. And she doesn't know how rich she is for it. Maybe she understands a bit now. But I was like, you know, a bunch of records on a wall look like nothing after a while. It just looks like wallpaper. And I'm like, there's like 20 people on every single one of those little things that like gave their everything. They put their fucking like Badissi in all of the shit. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, again, it's like I could go through and like, you know, like just read off fucking, you know, just the liner notes of any of these things. Like, dude, this is a fucking cover. Oh my God, for the love of, oh my God. Again, I get it. Like when you come across this, you're just like, okay, you know, when you come across this, you don't think twice. When you come across this, you're like, okay, you could be this, you know, you could be like, oh, I'm a changed person again. And I'm like, dude, in 2011, as is $3. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, it's not even a fucking gamble. Put it in the fucking corner and you'll be cooler because of it. Oh yeah. Wait up. It's really beautiful thing. Every person has their instrument and yeah, for sure. And again, Desert Raven, yeah, for sure. He's so good. I'm stoked. I'm really, really, really stoked that he went off and started doing his own thing. Cause you know, cause I feel like, Jonathan Wilson was one of those people like I'm talking about. Like he was ahead in LA. Also, I think he's from North Carolina. Obviously, he's probably respected there, but I think he really cut his teeth in LA. And then he was always around as this like wizard ass bro, you know? And it was weird because it's like he'd be a great one for me to interview because we've got rapport. We were never really, really close, but I was around. He was working with a lot of my friends, and he was always really, really sweet. Because it's like I also feel like he could have been like too cool for school, hella, you know, but also, he was like kicking it. There was a moment where he was like kicking it with Neil Young. I remember that again. Like we were like young, and it was like, yo, because it was also even crazier. I think he was just like, yo, you know that Cadillac he drives? You know, like Neil Young gave him that. It was some like crazy whatever. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, damn, I didn't know this fool got it like that. And then again, he made records and were really cool records. And then he made the first Father John Misty record. And then people were like, oh, yo, Jonathan Wilson. And then he started making solo records. And I was like, oh my God, sick. Because it was one of those like, he was respected in the streets. And again, those streets are filled with hitters, but it was also very like LA. And again, LA gets a really funny rap of like, you know, people thinking that like it's Erewhon and soft and whatever, but it's also just like, especially with musicians, because I remember, you know, going on tour and, you know, again, yeah, going to the South, going to Nashville, you know, going to Texas, you know, going to Detroit, you know, and then, you know, people being like, oh yeah, you know, you guys got some music that comes out of there, but then it's like, you're with Blake and then you're with Jonathan and it's like one of those things where very quickly they're not thinking that LA is as whatever the fuck they think LA is, you know? And again, it's more than that kind of thing, but you know, but yeah, I mean, it's also like, even like when that moment of, yeah, how's it going, Mackenzie? Music history lives in the liner notes, bro. Facts. Like, oh my God, so facts. But also, yeah, like the Manahan Street Band around here, so good. I'll check out Jonathan. Yeah, you should. Dude, you start writing these down. I know. I really, really have to. Oh my God, wait. Okay, Cuddy with. Oh my God, wait. Anastasia, you know about the Dungeon Family? They're so good. Yeah, so I was just saying that Mary Clayton. There's a few breaks on the Cool Breeze record. Cool Breeze had a few cool tracks on it. The Dungeon Family is the best. Also, just like Follow the Light. Oh my God. It's also like, I don't know. It's so funny. I think CeeLo has, in my world, had one of the craziest runs of music ever. Like, it's just such a strange, like, Goody Mob, Down South, Organized Noise, The Dungeon, to like the Dungeon Family, to like him fucking with Danger Mouse and doing Crazy is like, I mean, I guess Outkast did it, but I don't know. Outkast has always been Outkast. Like, Outkast was like, as cutty as they've ever been, they've always just been like beloved. Like, I don't know. Outkast just had a way of like, I don't know. Outkast is another one of my favorites. They're such a trip. They were just so, everyone loves Outkast. Like, who the fuck doesn't like Outkast? Such a funny one. But again, Goody Mob, I could be like, oh yeah, do you know about like Sky High or fucking Black Ice or whatever? And I think people would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, it's like, you mean the crazy guy? Or even better, fuck the crazy guy, the meme guy, the dude, when CeeLo came in all like C-3PO, that's like the best thing I've ever seen, dude. Wait, I want to do a video on lore behind 30 yeah, well, that's good. You know, a bit of a bummer. I mean, I know about that, but that was when I transitioned into Largo, John Bryan, country. Like 3 6 Mafia was like the last of the. It was one of the last of the bands that were really up there. And I was like, I wasn't trying to like ignore them or anything, but I was like saying goodbye to rap for a bit. And it's also a bit of unfortunate because it's like, I don't think I really come back. There's a dude named Akeem Ali. He goes by Kimi Casanova. He is dropping like pimp raps hard. I'm talking like Iceberg Slim shit. Like he's like MC8 shit, like Sucker Free shit. And I really love him, but it's very funny. Like it's funny. Like I put a playlist together and I'm probably going to play a track of his, maybe one or two today, but I'm also even nervous because it's like legitimate problematic music. I mean, he's playing a character for sure. And I also don't think that people are going to be fucking like listening to like the music I'm playing. I mean, they will, but they're not going to be paying close attention. But like Dude, Kimi Casanova. Peep that shit. DJ Spanish Fly being the biggest influence. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yo. Yes. Yes. Like, yo, like that's amen, dude. Amen. Yeah, Anastasia. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Not quite as dark as the other stuff. Wait, I left rap too for a while. I was heavy rock and roll, specifically Nine Inch Nails. Yeah, I mean, it's like that's also cool too. I mean, it's like I like the. Not that I mean it's like I like departing, but I mean it's just like it's good to go deep into another thing, and then because it's just I think it's just good to always expand, but it's like I also just know too that like. I have blind spots, but I could get back into like 3 6 Mafia shit or like, you know, like T.I. or whatever, or like really, again, it's a funny time, but Kanye produced. I mean, I used to have this conversation a lot. I mean, people used to get super mad. I mean, I get it, but let's be in the alternate universe and say Kanye's not Kanye right now. Let's just just consider his music. But I think that Kanye produced enough bangers for other people. Like if you cut out all of his records, every single one of his records, none of his records exist. If you just put a list together of all the tracks he produced for other people, he's in the conversation of being one of the greats. That's bananas. That's bananas. But it's like DJ Premier in Gangstar hasn't hit the heights that Kanye did. And also Kanye is a trip, but the thing is like disregard. But he was a good one for me to get into a bunch of people because I would always just follow whatever he produced, and then I'd be finding out about artists that were like, oh cool this and oh cool that, and it was like easier to get into because my foundation was there. It's like really really tough for me to like get into like the SoundCloud rappers. It's like there's just so much I don't know where to go. I mean, like once the internet came through, it was really, really tough because, you know, people are putting out records. It's like, I don't know, like, I really don't know. And I really would love to do it. Maybe this is a good place to even try to do it, but I don't know if I could go through Lil Xan's discography. I think I'd be down, but I don't know. I also like when people, and again, I love it too. And I get how weird it is. And I understand how people get mad at it, but like, when people were identifying, and again, maybe that's even offensive for me saying that, but like when people are saying that they're rappers and their main influence is emo, and I don't know if they're trying to like get barred up like Big Pun or, you know, like Cool G Rap or some shit, Granddaddy IU, but yeah, you know, it's like I'm not trying to be disrespectful about music either. Again, it's just like I don't know. Like if I was a kid now, I don't know if I'd be giving a fuck about Leon Russell. I don't know, but I think that again, when I'm saying that, like the pillars of whatever this is, like, you know, like time, language, and like kind of like self. It's like I have to triple down on all this shit because I am of a time. I have learned this thing. I don't disrespect it. I'm going to go further into it because could you imagine if I just spent all my time just like learning about fucking SoundCloud rap and I didn't even touch the surface because I'm not of it and I'm not doing anything in that world compared to if I was talking about Lou Adler produced records. Wait, Kev, did you ever do Quick Tattoo Tour the other day? Kind of. Did you see a little bit? I kind of did. Oh Jesus, I would love to be drinking at a club listening to Kev spin. Well, again, oh my God. Well, that really, I will say that is fun because it's like, even like my homie, he's the best. He's my brother, the best. He's also an artist where he's just like, why don't we do a night where we're just playing bad rap? And I'm just like, why don't we just play some good stuff? You know, it's like there's like a theme, and it's like you stick to the theme. And it's just like one of the other Kilby was like, I was like, yo man, let's throw a night, let's do some shit. Cause again, I'm going through my records again, and he was just like, oh yeah, cool. He's just like, yo man, this one time I had a night that was just dog themed, so he just played like Snoop Dogg, and he played Who Let the Dogs Out, and he played fucking like, you know, the Atomic Dog, and it's just like, I'm not saying no to that, but he's also just like, oh yeah, people hated it. It's like, well, why don't you just try to play the ones, you know, like play the jams, don't go too far out, play some stuff like, if you like this, you'll probably love this. Keep it pushing, man, you know. But again, Muzza, I'll be doing this, I'll be streaming this stuff soon, and I'll be having these conversations again. Like it's like, you know, it's like, obviously I don't want to alienate Laura or anything, but I will be going down to this road more than mom road. And again, but I'll just be doing mom stuff on mom's thing. And then we'll be going to, like, I definitely have a blind spot with Kanye. Like I will fill in the blind spot, and Kanye is Kanye is Kanye, but there was a point where everything he touched was designer. Yeah. I mean, well, I also personally, Kanye West put out a record. Kanye West got signed to Rockefeller to be put on retainer because he had all the beats, and he gave people beats. Nuts. Again, already from everything I've been on for an hour 45. That's all. Basically, I've only talked about someone like that being like, cool. He's a session guy, essentially 5 beats a day for 3 summers, you know, and he was giving away bangers, you know, then Dame and Jay being like, nah, he's not it. That's not him. Just put him on the side. And then also being like, fuck it, we'll give him a record. You know, we'll give him a record. We're not going to give him any money for a music video, this and that. He gets into an accident. He puts up his own money to make the Through the Wire sound, the Through the Wire video. Also, just a Shaka Khan classic, so easily digestible, so good. And then gets on. And again, this is where the story basically ends for me. Like, I'm done with this. He gets money in his pocket, and he calls up John Bryan. He's a genius. Done. I don't need anything else. I don't give a fuck. I don't fuck the next record. Fuck the next other fuck the rest of any of it. This dude got money, and he called John Bryan because he listened to When the Pawn, and he listened to the low end of that record, being like, damn, this shit hits like hip hop records. And then he also fucking listened to Eternal Sunshine and was just like, okay, cool, let's get this guy on the payroll. And then he makes fucking Late Registration. I was like, what the? Okay. Again, I'm done. It's like he did it. He also just surrounds himself with genius. But the thing is, again, it's not easy to even spot out genius. It's like, you know, even right now, you know, like talking to Wilson, like, you know, it's hard to understand Wilson. It might not be if there's just like a body of music out, but like if Wilson has 2 records out, it's hard to be like, yo, this is going to be the guy, or this is the guy. Or even by this point, listening to Blake Mills play, and Blake Mills, he's playing avant-garde weird music, and you know, it's like he's playing at, like, I've seen him at like bars, and he's playing low, so if you want to talk, you can't listen, you know. And it's not like he's really trying to be like mean or anything, but it's like, it's hard to be like, oh, this is it, this is where it's at. But it's like when you hear the intro to that Alabama Shakes record that he did, what is it? Sound and Color. And you're like, oh my God, listen to the pocket. This is nuts. Listen to the bookend. Listen to the bookends of that record. Wait, Muzza, have you heard that record? Listen to the bookends of that record. The first song and the last song. Listen to that pocket. It is he knows how to take you to church, and he knows how to take you to church in like an indie fashion that is like. I mean, I remember Jay Dilla in Dilla Times talking about he never quantized. He always played his MPC, and he'd be like a baby hair to the left, and he knew like the pocket is off, like you're in but you're off, and it's like, oh yeah, you're different, bro. You're different. I just love that I'm open minded. Yeah, Anastasia, don't ever lose that. Don't ever lose that. Don't ever lose that. It's important, and it's easy to lose, or it's just easy to get out of, and then it's just, and then it's like it's just hard to get back on. I feel like it's like exercising or something. It's like when you're in it, and even if you don't want to do it, you're like, oh fuck it, I'll just do this real quick. But if you stop doing it, it's hard to get back on. I mean, it's hard to listen to new music. No, I want to hear good stuff. Plus, if you play what you like, the people like, yeah. I mean, again, I will try to really. Again, I have a friend who's a good friend who owns a bar, so it'll be low hanging fruit because I don't want to be like I'm a DJ. I just want to be like, cool. Let me just play some stuff. And let's just make it fun and yeah, like if I did do something where I'm just playing James Jamerson records that aren't on Motown, it's gonna be up the same alley, but it's not like me being like, let's play a dog themed, night, which again, I love. I would want to do that because it's so fun, but I'm also just like, no, well, let's be at a bar and let's have people spend money and get hip to some cool stuff, again, but it's like, I love both things, but it's like, there's a nice happy medium that is where I want to live basically. Yo, I was just at the vet the other day with my dog and I started quoting Atomic Dog. That's the best. I mean, well, also I told Mackenzie, that's an from the Atomic Dog. It's a stick and poke of the Atomic Dog from the Atomic Dog music video. Because I mean, Atomic Dog is so good. See ya, Mama Bear. You seen the video where he shows Pharrell through the wire, ends Pharrell realizing through the wire means, no, I haven't seen that. I got to look it up. I take it it's on YouTube. Dude, slightly offbeat is where it is. Yeah, I mean, but that's also kind of like that's what makes rock and roll. I mean, it's like, again, like, yeah, that's what I'm also saying too. It's like when something is so perfect, it's off. It's not there. Yeah, how's it going, San Diego? I don't know much about the things you talk about, but it's nice hearing you go on about things. It gives me anxiety brain sometimes to focus on. I mean, I'm sorry. I understand. It's a lot. I know it really is a lot. Also, this is like, it's like what I do, Speaking of beats and sounds, I'm about to take. I did, but I have listened to that. I haven't listened, but I know what you're talking about. I'm working. I can't hang. I'm gonna leave too because I'm gonna leave soon too because I got to go DJ, and I should clean up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I also do think, especially again on this channel, I'll be talking about music, but realistically, I'll be talking about Christmas. It's like the stuff I've been saying. It's like there's funny through lines to all this stuff in me that I'm gonna be. Again, I think I'll be making videos that are like video essays on some of this stuff and not being like, oh my God, Kanye. I probably really won't touch that at all. But it'll be about, kind of like trying to get rid of the imposter syndrome or, this and that. And I think on lives like this, I'll probably get a little bit more specific on some things, or at least have a little bit more like a planned out something, being like, cool, I went to the record store and I bought this and that, and I bought these books and I'm showing you my hauls. And then kind of just like having conversation. But again, I think that it's like Abby, like, you know, when I'm back with mom, it'll be a lot less this. You know what I mean? It's a oh my god, oh my god. Well, thank you. I mean, I could go on forever. Also, it's like I could really also be like, let me give you some, yeah, like little homework, because it's also it is good, because it's funny too. It's like thinking about, like, Laura, like if this stuff, like I could give you homework where you know what mom knows. Like mom, I think mom has such a good like knowledge of like good music that's like cutty, but it's so easy to listen to because it's just so good, and like it's like meant to it's meant for the people, but sometimes those records get overlooked for some strange reason. And she's just been around them forever. And again, I think that, like, you know, like it's like if I were to be like, yo, listen to Donny Hathaway, and then you like, you know, Where Is the Love, I'll be like, oh my God, look, Nate Dogg was a singer on At Death Row, and he covered that song, but also Roberta Flack sang that. And now Roberta Flack, ooh, you know, now again, it's just like, here's an easy one little rap tidbit. Who's also like, he sang on stuff that you know for sure, but she also probably played music that you know really well, because also like Roberta Flack sang, you know, Roberta Flack sang Killing Me Softly. We all know Killing Me Softly because of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill just covered Roberta Flack. You know, now again, in that track, there's a few samples that are also really good, and that's from Wyclef. Again, it's like I could go on, but it's also like again, I'm so not like, there's levels, and I think that in, you know, it's kind of like in talking about this stuff, it's like, you remember like that saying of like, you know, if you chop your own wood, you get warm twice. You know, it's just like I'll get it better at knowing this stuff, and I'll be like, oh cool, I learned this, and I'll be like, oh yeah, Laura, you know, or like Anastasia being like, hey, yo, listen to this. Or even, you know, Troy Kidden being like, hey, yo, Future Funk. It's like, I would love to learn. I'm so happy we got to see you, Kev. I just realized you're yeah. Yo, I'm in New York. Well, also, yeah, and it says I'm DJing tonight. That's why kind of like I was going through this stuff. Also, oh my God, look, yo, oh my God, peep this one. That's a cover. Also, oh my God, dude, Devil's Pie on Wax. Oh my God, this. Ooh. Also, oh my God, wait a second. You want to hear another good one? Here's one. Oh my God. Okay, yo. Last thing. Dude, this record, there's a song called Love Hangover. Love Hangover was the sample for The First Night by Monica. We all love Monica. But that track, Bananas and Monica, is obviously Monica. She's so great. Yes, record halls. Oh my God. Yeah, dude, look at that. Also, dude, Wax. Also, dude, $3. I mean, this record, this record has to be like, I don't fucking know by this point. Again, that's like, I'm like nervous to take it out, but it'll be fine. But yeah. I mean, I got record halls. Also, oh my God, probably like Pound for Pound, like one of my mom's favorite records. Like I'll be playing this tonight for sure. And this is as hard as it gets. Oh my God, dude, this on this record, again, it's Falling Apart, DJ Premier sampling, dude, JFK to LAX. Ooh. Oh my God. Also, I don't know who, again, this is later. I wonder, I knew it. I just knew it. Yeah, this record doesn't have the players, but they do Simon and Garfunkel. I'm always very interested in whatever you're talking about because I'm so eager to learn more. Dude, wait, I could listen to you talk. Oh my God, thank you. Oh my God. That's all, like, thank you for that. That means a lot. I feel like I could put people to bed. It's like the scene out of School of Rock, just hanging out CDs. Oh my God. Well, that's also, again, that's truly true to life. One of my favorites. Cause it's also, that's it. School of Rock is like, yeah, School of Rock is probably as perfect as the movie gets. Cause also, again, it's about rock and roll, and one show could change the world, and they lost about a little bands, but did they really lose? There's no, that School of Rock is the best thing. I genuinely, oh my God, thank Abby. Really, that really means a lot. Like, I'm not, don't take it lightly. It really means a lot. I love it, dude. Music is so special. This isn't the realm of what I'm used to. This is what it's all about, exploration of art. Yeah, that's it. But that's it. Like, and because it's like, I don't want it to just be music. I mean, I'm sure it'll end up at music a lot more than it would other places, just because it's kind of like my first everything. But yeah, it's just like, this is what I want to do here, just explore. And like, and again, like right now, again, I'm just hanging out because I'm in New York, but it's like I'll have like an agenda, because I'll make a video that'll probably, it'll be something fresh on my mind. So I'll go live and explain some of that stuff. But also, yeah, like all I won't be rambling as much. I mean, I probably will in some regard, because I'll never not. But it is about exploring, and I'm excited about fucking learning through all this stuff. Like Anderson's back had Talib Kweli produce his first album and grew up obsessed with Black Star and Talib. Most Def I like. No, yeah, totally. That's for sure it. Anderson used to DJ at the spot that I used to DJ at. He's friends with a lot of the homies. I haven't met him yet, but yeah, totally. And it's like he's a record, yeah, it makes sense. It just makes so much sense. Dude, Aaliyah, I'm with you. I also have to go outside for a little bit today, and I'm like nervous to like get like my fucking clothes and shit. But I listen to everything depending on the mood. I started with rock, 90s grunge, 90s 2000, R&B house. I could go on. It depends. Oh yeah, sick. So it's also, again, like I'm like, yeah, getting into like Nine Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson, and that's a thing, like getting into the, again, like, because the thing is, what I want to do as well is go through my record collection and catalog. So it's like, oh yeah, cool. Like if I find a bunch of, the industrial stuff, like I'm going through that section, then I'll just be talking about that stuff. But it's also, again, like I got a lot of blind spots. If I was a rich woman in the world, I'd fly. Oh my God. Thanks. I mean, well, I'll have more. Also, it'd be so rad if we did the Magical Mystery Tour, and then, because I wanted to do that so bad, and I gave it as a suggestion, and I know it's a good idea, but it's just so weird. Again, every single thing I did that wasn't all mine was just weird enough for me to like not get a call back, but like it's just like getting like, oh, this dude's a bit loose, man. But like, I wanted to go on tour and not open for a band, but after the show, throw a party, and I would DJ as a thing. Where it's just like, could you imagine like you're going to a show, you're fucking with the band's fucked with me, people know me through the band, and then I'm also just like, hey yo, like if you want to have a beer after the show and like have a place to maybe hang out for a second, come to the party that Kevin's throwing, and then the band will also be there too. Or, maybe not all the time, but also it's like, if you're it's like if we're in a town, if we're in a city with a bunch of friends, and it's just like, we could hang out on the bus, or we could really go to a bar where we normally go to bars, but it's also like, you're just going to whatever. And I'm like, let me just fucking buy records during the day and just fucking, let me throw a party at night, And I'm like, so it's like, I was like, don't hire me as an opener, but like hire me as like an opener, like a closer, And I was like, I know it'd be good. Cause it's like, I know people would be like, yo, that's the fucking dude, And I'm like, chill, just drink a beer, man, hang out, don't worry. Like pretend you're my friend and it's like, whatever. I just know it'd work. Who put me on to good funk besides We Mandalay Bay playlist. The San Andreas. Oh my God, really? I really heard good things about that. Also, you know, it's another crazy thing, which I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's a connection. DJ Pooh wrote for Grand Theft Auto, and I wouldn't. And I mean, he knows all of it. I mean, he knows all of it. I mean, one of my holy grail documentaries to make is the 95 Source Awards, where it was like East versus West. And it was like Snoop Dogg was just like, y'all motherfuckers have got love for the West Coast. And then on top of that, which is just the gnarliest, dude, best new music was Outkast. And like, obviously, like fucking Andre 3000 or Andre at the time specifically, it probably was Dre at the time, like was, like now we only know him as like, he's lives in the future and he's like the most clean cut, coolest dude of all time. And at the end of Aquemini, he put the acceptance speech, and he's just like fucking, I get it, East Coast, West Coast, but motherfucker, the South got something to say. It's like Andre being like, motherfuckers, the South got something to say, while like Tupac and Biggie are like beefing, and he was right. That fool was right. That motherfucker was right. He was right, man. And it's like, but so I say that I think the opening of that show was a West Coast, like, like a death row thing, and DJ Pooh was the DJ. And he also wrote on fucking GTA. And I would not be surprised for 1 second. He also co-wrote fucking Friday, and he also was Red in Friday. My mama gave me that chain, Red. You got knocked the fuck out, Red. He's another one of the ones where it's like, it's insane. It's just like, I don't understand how this fool is like going from like he made Whoop Whoop. And he was in Friday, and he has a hand in Grand Theft Auto, and we're not talking about this man like the GOAT. Besides like pockets of nah, man. Nah, man. Damn, I didn't hear about Us or Louder. Right, Kev, when my band makes it your heart. Sick. Dude, I'll kill it for sure. I mean, I would slay. Damn, dude. Sad, Esther Lauder. I don't even know what it is anymore. I've just heard mom say it so much. Whenever I get married, I hired a DJ. That'd be great. Again, what I also say too, it's mom is the best DJ, because I say it all the time, because she's a stripper. And why do I say that? Because she picks the music, I play the song, she dances. And she's got the best taste, just because she's not trying to get too cutty. She's definitely not ever trying to get too heady. And she's always just like, just play the pips, dude. And it's just like, you're right, man. We're at a party, just play Luther, man. It's like, you're right, dude. We're at a party, and she's got a good place. But yo, guys, I love you so much. I am fucking late. I'm a true to life idiot. I love doing this so much. That's why I don't have a sense of time. Also, like I said too, again with this, do whatever you do that makes you lose track of time. Or water that thing, whatever it is, water that thing. But yo, I love you. I'm going to get some records. I need to take a shower. I need to get my laundry. I need to eat dinner. I need to go to work. Love you. Stay cool. Thanks, Muzza. Yeah. Thanks, Abby. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I will see you soon. Yeah, I'll see you soon. See ya.